welcome. You're watching special post-budget coverage on ICICI Direct platform. I have with me Mr. Sachin Jain, Research Analyst, ICICI Securities. Very good afternoon, Mr. Jain, and welcome to the show. Sachin, budget has been a growth-oriented budget. Your initial thoughts, how do you see this budget helping the markets go forward?
If you see the budget sees a clear shift in focus on increasing the capital spending to drive the economy by kickstarting the investment cycle. In the process, it has seen a clear weaning away from subsidies, repurposing revenue spendings into capital spending, and at the same time attempt to onboard the off-budget items in a move towards greater transparency. The budget also appears to move away from an over-reliance on monetary policy to that of a larger fiscal impulse through larger borrowings. While the fiscal deficit has come higher than the market expectation, the budget math appears reasonable with many levers for the government to take along the way. The intent of the government to push PSU bank recapitalization and setting up of an ARC or an AIF for troubled asset monetization and PSU disinvestment target, strategic disinvestment, all this points towards removing the capital constraint which was necessary for growth. So I think in an all in all, a very good set of measures being announced in the budget.
Bond market seems to be a bit worried. You have huge borrowing program of the government. You have higher fiscal deficit set for not only next financial year, but till 26, the target has been set for 4.5% of the GDP. So how do you see the bond market reacting to it? We have lately seen a spike in the yields now.
Yeah, I think that's where the main action has happened in the bond market, while people are focusing on equity markets. Fiscal deficit stated in the budget is at 9.5% for the current financial year and 6.8% for the next financial year. The fiscal deficit target has been above market expectation for both the years now. The expectation for the current year was around 7.5% and for next year it was around 5 to 5.5%. So due to this higher fiscal deficit, the borrowings on the bond market is also higher. In fact, the finance minister has announced that there will be an additional borrowing of 50,000 crores in the current financial year itself in the month of February and March.
Right.
While for the next financial year, which was more critical for the market perspective, the gross market borrowing has been pegged at around 12 lakh crores for the same year. The bond market was expecting this number to be somewhere around between 10 lakh to 11 lakh crores. So in that sense, there has been a higher than market expectation of borrowing for the next financial year. If you look at the bond market, the bond market reaction accordingly has been negative, with a benchmark 10-year GSEC yield, on the budget day closed above 15-16 basis points at about 6.05% levels. And in fact, the very next day it is now trading at around 6.1%, above 6.1% kind of level. The bond market also got disappointed with no announcement with respect to the roadmap for the inclusion of Indian sovereign bonds in global bond indices, which would have led to significant FPI inflows. So that was something which the bond market was looking forward to and which has not come into the budget. However, if we analyze the budget assumptions in detail, we can conclude that the spending assumptions are aggressive and the revenue assumptions are conservative. The nominal GDP growth is assumed at around 14.4% in FY22, and the gross tax revenue assumption is projected at 16.7%. Both these numbers may have some upside potential to give them, especially given the lower base for the current financial year, and also the sharp recovery which we are witnessing in many segments of the economy, in fact, in this recent few months. Similarly, given the heavy pipeline of the large ticket items, this investment assumptions may also not be very too aggressive, in fact. So in that sense, there is every chance that the bond market may be positively surprised by a lower borrowing calendar, particularly in the second half of the next financial year, which is FY22.
So also,
sure. That's this recent sell-off in the yield movement, however, has to be seen in the context of the significant rally which has happened in the last 2 years, where the 10-year GSEC actually has moved from around 9% odd levels to below 6%. So we were anyway at the the lower end of the interest rate cycle where the RBI is now likely to keep the benchmark rates on hold after a series of rate cuts. So in that sense, this 20-25 basis point kind of a sell-off should not be seen as a reversal of the interest rate cycle. It is just that, the market participants were not ready to take overweight position at the fag end of the interest rate cycle.
Right.
So I think that's what the reaction has come. Also, one last point is, the Reserve Bank of India is likely to keep their liquidity stance supportive. I think they have the policy on the 5th of this month. So, but the long-term allocation, if I have to, suggest for investor, the long-term debt allocation should be done in a more staggered manner over the next few quarters instead of lump sum at current level. So that, I think, something which the investors can take cue from the budget.
Equity markets are rallying. What should be the investment strategy of the retail investor now? We have seen a very good jump in indices from the March lows. Nifty Sensex now crossing 50,000 levels. So any sectors that you're bullish on, and what strategy should be adopted at these levels now?
I think this is very interesting. Investors generally tend to focus too much on the short-term events. Just look at this. The investors in a long investment journey of investors, be it the union budget or be it COVID-19 pandemic for that matter, it is just a small intermittent event in a long-term investment journey of an investor. Any sharp correction, be it before the event or after the event, should always be viewed as an investment opportunity.
Right.
Especially for an investor who wants to create wealth for the next 10, 15, 20 years of their investment horizon. So this time around, there was a sharp correction before the union budget. And in the hindsight, it was indeed an investment opportunity, actually, if I have to say. So the similar opportunity was presented by Mr. Market during the COVID-19 period as well. We have seen in the year 2020. So while for the human community, COVID-19 is one of the worst things which has happened, but for investor, it was one of the best things which could have happened. Investor could have got entry into the market 30, 40, 50 percentage points lower than what the markets were earlier trading before the COVID-19 pandemic happened.
Yeah.
But however, from a market perspective, having said that, given the sharp move, we expect the broader markets to follow now on the back of better than expected quarterly earnings and also the positive investor sentiments. We expect mid caps and small caps to outperform going forward, and therefore investor may consider investing lump sum as well in some of the mid cap funds or small cap funds, or even individual stocks from mid caps or the product markets at current levels, while continuing their overall systematic allocation in other categories as per their risk return profile.
The sector you like the most?
I think instead of focusing on specific sectors, it is always better for retail investor to diversify their portfolio across segments, across sectors, because you never know which sector is going to outperform or which sector is going to underperform. So in that sense, a well-diversified allocation across sectors and even a multi-cap kind of an approach, multi-cap funds kind of an approach is better suited to tide this overall volatility in individual sectors which can happen. So a diversified approach is always preferable for investors.
Thank you, Sachin, for being with us.